Chapter 39 of Don't Sweat the Small Stuff says, practice humility. Practice humility. Humility and inner peace go hand in hand. The less compelled you are to prove yourself to others, the easier it is to feel peaceful inside. Proving yourself is a dangerous trap. It takes an enormous amount of energy to be continually pointing out your accomplishments, bragging, or trying to convince others of your worth as a human being. Bragging actually dilutes the positive feelings you receive from an accomplishment or something you are proud of. To make matters worse, the more you try to prove yourself, the more others will avoid you, talk behind your back about your insecure need to brag, and perhaps even resent you. Ironically, however, the less you care about seeking approval, the more approval you seem to get. People are drawn to those with a quiet inner confidence. People who don't need to make themselves look good, be right all the time, or steal the glory. Most people love a person who doesn't need to brag, a person who shares from his or her heart and not from his or her ego. The way to develop genuine humility is to practice. It's nice because you will get immediate inner feedback in the way of calm, easy feelings. The next time you have an opportunity to brag, resist the temptation. I discussed this strategy with a client and he shared the following story. He was with a group of friends a few days after he had been promoted at work. His friends didn't know it yet, but my client was chosen to be promoted instead of another friend of theirs. He was a little competitive with this person and had a very strong temptation to sneak in the fact that he had been chosen and their other friend wasn't. He felt himself about ready to say something when a little voice inside him said, "Stop, don't do it." He went ahead and shared with his friends, but he didn't cross the line and turn the sharing into gloating. He never mentioned how their other friend didn't get promoted. He told me that he couldn't remember ever feeling so calm and proud of himself. He was able to enjoy his success without bragging. Later, when his friends did find out what had happened, they let him know that they were extremely impressed with his good judgment and humility. He received more feedback and attention from practicing humility, not less.
I see the light inside you, brighter than the skies.
Practice humility. Growing up in a typical traditional setting, if you are tagged as being humble, it means that for you, you are quote unquote the sheep of the society. You go where they ask you to go, you sit where they ask you to sit, you do what they ask you to do, you act how they ask you to act. But in a deeper sense, humility simply is connected to compassion. You're compassionate about something, you're compassionate for somebody, you're going to put yourself in their shoes and act as though you were them. And that is how high, I wouldn't say low, you can go for humanity. In this life, know that if there is any tried, tested and approved means of dismissing a once upon a time healthy relationship, that will be ego. Yes, ego can omit a lot of things. Our ego makes us super proud. It opens our eyes and our minds to think of ourselves as more human. Yeah, I should say more human than others. If we learn to practice humility, we may be learning to understand others more, and in return, we become more peaceful and calm people. What would be of us, of our existence, in our circle or in our lives without peace, without calm? What can we obviously do in the chaos? Nothing. But when we are peaceful and we are calm, I bet you can challenge yourself to do your seemingly impossible dream, and by the twinkle of an eye, you are there. Let's learn to practice humility today, tomorrow, and for as long as we breathe. Yeah, some of these days we're just going to breathe. I'll see you again in the next episode. Do share your comments, your thoughts with me in the comment section. Until then, remember not to sweat the small stuff and practice humility. Bye-bye.